Welcome student to our next lecture on Introduction to Macroeconomics. I am Professor Sanjay Tiwari from Srimati Lakshmi Radhakrishnan Toshniwal College of Commerce, Akola. In this lecture, we study concept of macroeconomics, that means the meaning, definition and scope of macroeconomics. You have already studied the basic concept of macroeconomics in 11th standard. Here we recall that knowledge. The term macro is derived from the Greek word macros, which means large. Macro deals with the study of aggregate, which relates to the whole economy, such as national income, total employment, total consumption, total investment, total savings, aggregate demand, aggregate supply, and general price level. So macroeconomics is also known as aggregative economics. It studies as a whole it was the British economist John Maynard Keynes who laid the foundation of the modern macroeconomics. In 11th standard, you have studied the definition given by the Kenneth Boulding. According to Kenneth Boulding, macroeconomics deals not with the individual quantities as such, but with the aggregates of these quantities. Not with the individual income, but with the national income. Not with the individual prices, but with the price level. Not with the individual output, but with the national output. This definition was given by Kenneth Boulding. You have already studied this definition in 11th standard. Now here, we are going to study the next definition given by J.L. Hansen. According to Professor J.L. Hansen, macroeconomics is that branch of economics which considers the relationship between the large aggregates, such as the volume of the employment, total amount of the savings, investment, national income, etc., etc. The another definition, which was given by Professor Karl Shapiro, macroeconomics deals with the functioning of economy as a whole. That means macroeconomics studies the economy as a whole. It uses the lumping method. In our next lecture, when we studied the features of macroeconomics, there we studied the lumping method. This is the feature of macroeconomics, because macroeconomics lumps all the variables working in the economy and study as a whole. Hence, it is known as aggregative study. This is the definition given by the Karl Shapiro. Now we proceed towards the scope of macroeconomics. The following chart shows the scope of or subject matter of macroeconomics. The macroeconomics deals with the theory of the income and the employment. It includes the theory of consumption as well as the theory of investment. That means theory of consumption function and theory of investment function. A theory of business cycle is also a part of theory of income and employment. This is the first scope. The second one is theory of general price level and inflation. This is the second scope. We are proceeding in our next slide, one by one. We explain all these points. The third one is theory of economic growth and development. The theory of economic growth and development. The problem of growth in long run problem. It was Harrod and Domar who extended the Keynesian analysis. This has been explained with the help of the study of macroeconomics. Hence, this is the another scope of macroeconomics. And the next one is the last one is macro theory of distribution. The macroeconomic theory also explains the factors determining the relative shares of various social classes. Of the scope of the macroeconomics, the first is theory of income and employment. Macroeconomic analysis explain which factors determine the level of national income and employment and what causes the fluctuation in the level of income, output and employment. To understand how the level of employment is determined, we have to study the consumption function and investment function. Theory of business cycle is also a part and a parcel of theory of income and employment. So the macroeconomics explains or analyze or it deals with the theory of income and employment. That means these factors are determine the level of national income, the level of national employment. So this is the first scope of macroeconomics. The second scope is theory of general price level and inflation. Macroeconomics also explains how the general price level is determined. Keynes has explained that it is not always that increase in the supply of money that brings rise in the price, but also explain that just as unemployment and depression were caused due to the deficiency of aggregate demand, inflation was due to the excessive aggregate demand. The problem of fluctuation is a serious problem faced these days both by the developed and underdeveloped countries of the world. Theory of price level studies causes and the effect of inflation and depression and suggests the policies to tackle these problems. That means when the people demanded more and more goods, but there is a shortage in the market, this leads to the price hike. So there are various factors which leads to the inflation. And these factors or these problems are studied under the theory of general price level and inflation. This is the second scope of macroeconomics. The next one is theory of growth and development. It is also known as theory of economic growth and development. The problem of growth is a long run problem. It was Harrod and Domar who extended the Keynesian analysis to the long run problem of growth with stability. If growth with the stability is to be achieved, income must increase at a rate sufficient enough to ensure the full utilization of increasing productive capacity. General growth theory applies to both the developed and underdeveloped economies. Special theories have been developed which explain the causes of underdevelopment and poverty in the underdeveloped countries and also suggest strategies for initiating and accelerating them. That means this is a long-term phenomenon, economic growth and economic development. It leads to the well-being of the people living in the society. This concept is related with the development of the country as well as development and the growth of the people or standard of living of the people. This is not short-term phenomena, this is long-term phenomena. It took near about decades or centuries to develop a single country. But all the countries, like in India, we are facing the various problem of population explosion, we face the problem of poverty, we face the problem of unemployment. All these problems affects the economic growth as well as economic development. So the study of this is studied with the help of the macroeconomics. This is the another scope of macroeconomics, the third. The next one is macro theory of distribution. Macro theory of distribution deals with the relative shares of rent, wages, interest and profit in the total national income. It also explains the factors determining the relative shares of various social classes. Workers and capitalists in the form of the total rent, total wages, income, total interest and total profit in the total national income. This is the another scope of macroeconomics. Now, to proceed towards our next topic, a feature of macroeconomics. Here we only look at the points of the features of macroeconomics. These points are studied in detail in our next lecture. So here briefly we look towards the features of the macroeconomics. The first one is study of aggregates. The second one is income theory. The third one is general equilibrium analysis. The fourth one is interdependence. The fifth one is lumping method. Sixth one is growth models. Seventh one is general price level. And the last one is policy oriented. All these features are studied in our next lecture. Now here we conclude with the basic or introduction to the macroeconomics, meaning and definition of macroeconomics as well as scope of macroeconomics. Thank you. Hello.